All right, let's get going, because we got lots of stuff to do, and you've got a big day ahead of you. First of all, welcome to Pow Wow. If this is your first Pow Wow, you're in for a treat of a day. If it's your second Pow Wow, your third, your fourth, your fifth, man, you guys are glad for punishment. It's going to be a great day. This is my 8th Pow Wow, and I've been teaching 4 of them, and I love these things. These are like, I look forward to this is my high point of the year. So, I'm going to teach you about Pack Pizzazz. I'm Brian Kale. You know, and I could have put my name on here with my email, but that's not pizzazzy. So here I am. Unfortunately, all the cookies have been claimed. I have no more cookies to give, but there is my email address. Please feel free to contact me at any time about Cub Scout stuff. I get tons of emails, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find somebody who does. So, okay, strap in. Here we go. Come on, sit down. All right, Pack Pizzazz. Lord Baden-Powell had it right from the very beginning. You cannot run a boy program unless you see things from the boy's point of view. It's not an adult program, it's a kid program. If I want to teach adults, well, that's fine. But if I want to have a boy program, I better put it into something that the boys love to do. Something that's going to excite them, that's going to keep them energetic, right? Because boys, by nature, are not sitting creatures. We all know that. And especially if you have a boy as a child, you really know that. So, pizzazz. Okay, we sort of heard the word. You know, I often wondered whether pizzazz actually was ever a real word or not, or we just adopted it. But, you know, it's elements of fun, learning. But it comes down to, are the families, not just the boys, because the boys can't drive yet, are the families coming back for more? Right? If the boys are having fun, chances are the parents are having fun, chances are they're coming back and they're voting with their feet by coming to you. Right? That's a good program. So let's talk about it. Pizzazz is actually an adjective, okay? Exciting, attractive, having vitality. I love these synonyms. Allure, appeal, captivation, charisma. All these are really cool words. For boys, they mean absolutely nothing. It comes down to fun. Fun, fun, fun. That's the word they know, right? All right. Boy Scouting has been around for a century plus. It puts on a great program. It teaches character. It teaches all these wonderful skills. But why do the boys come back? Why, though, do we have trouble getting them to pay attention? Oh, clouds, rocks, ooh, an ant. You know, and you're no, we need to talk about this. He's not touching me. Why? Why? Okay? It's because they're boys. They're 6 to 11-year-old boys, which are the worst kind. No, they're 6 to 11-year-old boys. I mean, look at this scene right here. They are playing Take Out the Trash. That is my pack's favorite game of all times. And it is nothing more than newspaper crumpled up, a line of chairs with parents on one side and boys on the other, and seeing who can throw the most trash to the other side when I blow the whistle. It is the simplest game ever. And the boys love it. Because it's nothing but fun, 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 fun. Yes, great game. Write it down. That's a good one. Matter of fact, if we could do this every single pack meeting and my boys would go, we're good. I'm not teaching a whole lot, but at least they would have a lot of fun. Okay, but why do you do pizzazz? It is about making it interesting. If I'm up here and I'm saying, okay, today we're going to teach you about backpacks. And I have a backpack right here, and it's great, and we're going to show you about how to use it and how to pack it. And this is what we're going to do. Wow, I'm boring myself. You know, this is really not good. I really have to put more to it. It has to be where they're talking about it. It's really striking how they learn. Attention spans are short. Cub Scout attention span is about 5 to 10 minutes before you better get them doing the activity. Parents' attention span is about 30 seconds until their phone rings and they want to sit back. Oh, you know, come here, you. That's all right. I'll fix it later. You know, it's these kind of things. The boys and the parents have got so many things going on in their life and their minds. They're just not paying attention, so we have to make it fun. You know? And the parents have to have fun too. If the parents find that your meetings are painful, they're not coming back. The boys may have loved it, but they're still not coming back. Oh, there's so many other things we can do. Wouldn't you like to go do something else? Go do this. So it has to be fun for them too. And let's face it, enthusiasm is contagious. All right, so what is pizzazz? Most people think pizzazz is being really loud and making lots of erratic movements. No, it's not being a cat running from room to room. That's not what pizzazz is, all right? It is fun and energy, yes, but it's about memorable. It's about being an attention getter. Memory cues, it has to show planning and caring. That's what pizzazz is. It doesn't have to be bigger in life, but it does need to show that you have thought through it and you're giving your all. That's what pizzazz is. All right, so the question I always goes about memory cue. I understood all the rest of them. We'll go back for a second. All of these are pretty easy. What do you mean by memory cue? I don't quite get that. Okay. Imagine, if you will, that we're having a talk about sports and about sportsmanship. And I'm wearing a referee's uniform as we're having the talk. Automatically, they know what a referee does. They understand what their role is in the game. So they've already got a memory cue. Next time we have a talk about something else, if I wear that pinstripe, they remember sportsmanship immediately. It's a memory cue. If I am talking about something else, like if I'm talking about patriotism, and I'm wearing my hat, and we're talking about the next time I bring out this hat, they remember the last time I talked about it. That's the way adults learn, that's the way kids learn. It's all about association, right? That's what pizzazz is. It's about creating more hooks in the brain to make it work. We're supporting the message, but we're allowing us to reuse that prop later. That shows thinking and planning. All right, so pizzazz can be a million things. It can be as simple as your blue and gold, lots of decorations. It could be something like you go camping and you create a gateway. When's the last time you went to a summer camp and you saw a unit actually create a gateway? That used to be what all scout units used to do. It's one of the first things they did. They built a gateway and then they built their camp. The gateway was their personality. If you ever get to go to a jamboree to visit, every single one of those units has a gateway that reflects where they came from. And they're awesome. They really are. This is nothing more than a few boards and some rope and some flags. But our boys thought it was amazing to have that bit of history. And also, it made us different, because the rest of the units didn't do it. And then I had painted before we went there that we were going to be a combined pack, that we were the Screaming Dragons. So I just painted a little Screaming Dragon on the board, and we hung it up. That was our mascot. And the whole week, we were the Screaming Dragons. They loved it. It was so simple. I mean, yeah, it took me an hour and a half to paint that. And my skill was not that good, so some of you probably more like 15 minutes. But for me, I'm like, but it worked great. This is what pizzazz is. It's not just happening, though. It takes planning, it takes work. All right, so let's talk about all the things that go into pizzazz. Oh my gosh, this is a long list. Yes, it is. Pretty much anything you can think about can be adapted for pizzazz. So let's go through some of these. Visual aids. Okay, so we talked a minute ago about the background, okay? When you're talking to Cub Scouts about something, I can talk the livelong day about something, or have a picture of it on a PowerPoint. And really, until they can touch it, feel it, try to break it, smell it, sometimes taste it, or whatever they're going to do, it doesn't become real to them. When I talk about, when we do camping, we go back before camping, I bring out real gear. Even gear that's maybe not going to be things that they use, that maybe it's the gear that their parents are going to use. I want them to see it and understand the safety about it. But I want them to touch it in a safe environment because they know it, and it's like, okay, now I start to get it. Okay? In a lot of cases, here it is. Skill presentations need to have the Cub Scouts trying within 5 minutes. The rule of 5 with Cub Scouts, always remember it. If you are talking for more than about 5 minutes with a Cub Scout, you've lost them. Some of the boys, still with it. Most of them, not so much. They're daydreaming, thinking about something else, looking elsewhere. There's something else in their head. Get them up, get them moving. If you have 15 minutes worth of stuff to tell them, 5 minutes talk, little activity. 5 minutes talk, little activity. But that right there makes all the difference in the world because their attention span is refreshed. I know I need that during my day. All right, how about else? Posters, like the one at Fell. There's one back there, a Cub Scout roundtable. Having posters and things of that sort that are visual cues really help out too. In one of these situations where you can point to it, it's something they can reference, it's something later on that you can have just, even if it's on the wall at a later meeting, it's that memory cue. It's something very simple that just reminds everyone what's going on. Songs to words, songs and words and such. If you're going to sing a song, even if it's a song that your pack sings every single meeting, you still should have the words somewhere. If because somebody is going to have a memory problem that day. Usually the leader. I know I do. I usually always have the Cub Scout promise and the law of the pack up, because there are times when I have a complete brain cramp and I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. And then what I do is an impromptu skit about, I just can't remember, who's going to help me? Until finally I find a little tiger who has a book, like, come up here, you can help me. And he's like, yes, I can help you. And he helps you. And it's like, but in reality, I had no clue and could not recover from that. And it was going to be a horrible meeting. But no, I'm going to make it into a little song and dance. And there you go. Having these up here is not a crutch, okay? It doesn't mean that you don't want the boys to understand. You want them to be involved with what you're doing. The Cub Scout promise and the law of the pack are a promise. They're making a promise. And mumbling it is nothing. And in reality, you should have your parents saying it as well, because they are a Kale. So they're making the promise too. And you know your parents haven't memorized that. Have it on the wall. That way they can go, no, parents. In fact, you can even do the meeting. Hey, parents, time to do it. Kids love that. They, yeah, mom and dad, you got mom and dad. Mom and dad's like, oh, yes. Maybe you have them do it again and again and again. I don't know. But it makes use of all your senses. And that's the key. Pizzazz is about using all the senses, not just their ears. All right, how about skits and run-ons? You guys have done skits, right? Yeah. You've done those skits that have so many words and it's the death and everyone's like wishing that it would fire, someone pulled the fire alarm. Remember those? Because the boys have like, 16 lines of, you're just like, oh! And desperately as an adult you want to rip it up, and that's the end of the skit! And you want to run off. You know those?
Actually, you need all those words to lay out, like the dragon context,
exactly.
Where the fight's coming from.
Hey, so. Yeah, everything is up. Hey, here we go. That's the key to a skit. Now, skit should be action. Boys are real good with action, and maybe 2 or 3 words. But as they get older, maybe a couple more. But don't make it Shakespeare. It's never going to work. Okay? Typically, lots of dialogue is the death of the skit. But having them do skits and things like that are important because it's number 1, it's fun. Remember the fun thing? It's always fun. Number 2, it's about learning confidence. Especially if they're up with a group in front of just a small, even in a den doing a skit is fun because it's a very small group. And, not doing it perfectly is not a failure. It's like, oh, it's okay. And everyone has fun. And as they go along, their confidence grows and grows to the point of they're desperate to want to do more and more skits. Okay? Make sure it's appropriate if it's in the Scout and Law. That's important. Make sure you preview every skit. Hey, we got a new skit. That's great. Can I hear it, please? Well, we went out with toilet paper. No, let's go somewhere else. Or, you've just got to make sure that it's actually reflecting the Scout and Law properly. That's important.
So Brian,
yes,
how do you feel about somebody saying something about farts or toilet paper or vomit and,
What's funny is...
Because the boys love toilet humor.
Absolutely they do. What's funny is I usually let the boys move on with the vomit ones, but not with the fart ones. Which is hilarious that I've got a problem with one direction but not the other. I take my cue mostly by my most sensitive parents, and I know where they live. But
so we did Yellow Jacket recently, or red jacket, yellow pants, or brown pants, and it seemed to go over fine. The kids got a kick out of it.
There are a billion other for Cub Scout, Boy Scouts. It's more debatable. For Cub Scouts, there are so many different type of skits. It's usually easier and less pain to sort of steer them away from them and move something else. There are lots of other, like the invisible bench is a perfect one. Oh, you probably have all done one with the box, and where there's the puppy in the box. Eventually, it's like, hey, that tastes like lemonade. It's like, oh no, bad puppy. Okay, see that one's on the edge, but that one's a funny one. And I usually allow that one because the kids love doing that. But you need to make sure, this is one of these situations, how would your grandma feel about it when she's watching? That's always a good,
My grandmother smoked and drank a lot.
Okay, maybe not your grandma. Maybe my grandma. Now, run-ons. Run-ons are incredibly funny and are a ton of fun to do. However, here's the thing about run-ons. Run-ons with Cub Scouts are very difficult because it is a timing thing. Most Cub Scouts have 0 timing. None. They've got none. They'll learn it, but up front, A run-on only works on timing. So it's usually, if I do run-ons in my meeting or whatever, I have an adult doing it, as part of that. Also, if you're making fun of anyone, you're never making fun of any Cub Scout. Typically, I have my foil, a different leader, who is always the guy that bad things happen to. If we're going to do something and, hey, we're going to do this wonderful thing and something bad always happens to him. He's the one that's the butt of the joke. Because as another adult, it's okay. Don't never make the boy that. But run-ons is one of these situations. They're old jokes. They're corny, horrible jokes. But to the kids, they're like, they laugh at them. And the parents are like, oh, which makes the boys laugh even louder. So they're a lot of fun to do. Costumes. You guys all have a whole thing full of costumes, right? Tons and tons of costumes, September 19th. Arr, talk like a pirate day, aye. On the whole meeting's aye, we come up here. It's really hard to stop talking like a pirate. But a simple little prop. I raid my kids' toy chests constantly for stuff. I go to, after Halloween, I go to Party City, and when they're selling all these accessories, boom, I go to tons and tons of different places. I do silly, stupid stuff like 2 go balls. Yeah, I see them coming. Ah, das Boot! And they love it because an adult comes in with a boot. It's really a dumb thing, but the boys love these kind of things, and they're simple. They just take a little bit of planning, a little bit. But putting on a costume, a different hat or whatever, it reminds the adults to be big kids, and that's the key. You're a leader, yes. You're being a good example and trying to teach them good character, yes, but you're having fun too. And when you're having fun, the boys have fun. If you're not having fun, the boys read it on you faster than anything, and they don't have fun, and the parents are like, yeah, we're not having fun. Okay? Even a change of hat makes all the difference in the world. If I'm going to go, and I say, we're going to go to the Frederick Keys, and we're going to go, and all of a sudden I come out, and I'm just, and someone else is making another announcement, I come out there and I'm like, guys, it's that time. All I have to do is this right here, and they know, baseball. We're going to do something baseball. I really haven't said anything, but hey, it's that time. And then all of a sudden, they're really attentive. What's he going to do with the ball? I don't know. And we talk about going to see the Frederick Keys baseball game and then camping on the field. It's that kind of easy. Let's face it, this is something that I have anywhere when I throw catch with my sons. This is nothing new I bought. It could be anything. Hats, wigs, jackets, masks. I've got a lab coat. I went on Free Cycle and got a lab coat. Because I can always be the crazy scientist that has to talk to them about something that's very important. It's just about making things up. I've got a hard hat. I wear this every time we do water rockets. Because this is when, I'm serious now about safety. And usually something happens to me, I get hit in the head. It's terrible, but always love that too. These are all super easy things, and I keep them in a couple totes, and I pull them out, and it adds more to your meeting. And sometimes it only takes a minute worth of thought. Sometimes it's more. I have a top hat. I went to the thrift store and bought a nice tuck shirt, and all of a sudden it's the master of ceremonies. And I have a nice, cape, and I can be the Phantom of the Opera. I can do anything with this kind of stuff. That's a $2 jacket at the thrift store. The next day I'm the Cub reporter out here. Wait a minute, this just in. Easy, simple stuff. Masks, be careful with masks. Obviously you want to, we typically don't want to go into the horrible slasher area there. That's not appropriate. And I usually stay away absolutely about any kind of political masks as well, because that just gets people all messed up. So don't do that. But otherwise, there are a lot of fun things to do. Scary clowns, probably don't do that one either. Kids and scary clowns, I don't even like scary clowns. That's the limit. Don't offend. There are so many things you can do. You don't need to offend. How about songs? Cheers. Do you guys have a songbook? You have a songbook? Yeah, good. Keep adding to it. A songbook is as simple as 1 or 2 songs that maybe you take packing tape and you cover them up so they're waterproof, and then after that you keep adding more and more pages. Your pack picks up 2 or 3 of its favorite songs. My boys have 3 favorite songs that we sing almost all the time, to the point of making the parents say, please stop. We don't want to sing these songs again. But you know what? They have a great time with these songs. Kids love to sing. Having the words available makes them more likely to sing. Okay? Patriotic songs, always great. The only thing is, national anthem, in my opinion, should not be used for background music. It is a primary, with a purpose thing. And I almost never, use it for anything other than the opening if we're doing something very patriotic. That's my opinion on this. That's not a hard, fast rule, but this is the way I do things. Just because it is that kind of importance. But as far as, God Bless America, lots of these others, there's tons of other patriotic songs. Yankee Doodle is a great song. Boys love singing that. And you can always put emotions with it. The more emotions, the better. Just be sure that you don't let these boys turn into emotions into, we're going to roam everywhere. Keep them in a spot. Good singing is not important. Okay? Loud singing is. People, oh, you couldn't carry a tune in the bucket. Yes, I know that. But I can sure sing loud. Don't worry about that. And the boys love it. How about a cheer? You can make a cheer about anything. Any activity you ever say, I can make a cheer out of it. Seriously. It might be a boring cheer. Hey, how about reading a book? Sure, reading a book cheer. Flip. Shh. There's my cheer for reading. Okay? And the boys will think it's funny. You can choose anything you want. And then there's all the ones that people always say, like the watermelon eating. You're shooting. There's all kinds of tons of fun ones out there. If you did a Google on cheers, you will find tens of thousands of them. Incorporate them in their meeting. I have at least 2 cheers in every pack meeting. Because it gets the boys up and they can be loud. And then we're back down again. It's like a pressure valve. Shh, we're back. Because the boys, you can sort of see, they're starting to get a little bit too much energy. They need to do something. Get them up and down. Sometimes I don't know when they're going to be. I read the room. Oh, okay, my tigers are getting a little restless. The tigers are going to get up and do the great, cheer. Tony the Tiger? Okay. So, these are always fun too. Have the parents do 1 or 2 cheers. The boys love seeing it. Truthfully, it's a lot of fun too. Some parents are very uncomfortable, but then they get into it. It's like, oh, this is pretty fun. They need to remember to bring their inner child into the room as well, not just leave it at the door. Presentations. It is so easy to do a presentation that is incredibly boring. Hey, we're going to go camping. Here's what you should bring. I do a game show with camping. I always do it's time for let's take things camping. What should it be? What do you think? And they go, I think this. And I've got a flip up of each of the things they should take. Well, hold on. Survey says, ding! And I've actually got one. And in the past, I've had one of my leaders come up and I put an item on them. But then I also went, wait a minute, how about a scooter? And I give them a scooter. How about this? How about this? And the kid's like, no. And eventually my poor leader, who's my foil, is wearing about 150 pounds worth of gear. He's like, until he collapses. And he's like, well, obviously that's wrong. And the kids think it's hilarious. We have the soccer ball here, big jugs. Back in the back, what you can't see too is I actually put, there was a badminton net. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. And the kids were like, no! But it's a fun way of doing and teaching them. And they know what should be happening here. They're anticipating. They're playing along, but they're also learning to remember that you take your tent, sleeping bag, change your clothes, the basic stuff. It's a ton of fun. Including the boys is always good. And if you can bring them up front to help with that, even better. See, here's part of my game. There's my flip-ups. Notice that they've got a picture and words. It just took a second more to go to the internet and grab me a picture. But it makes all the difference in the world. If these were just words, it's pretty boring, isn't it? But with the pictures and everything, it's not bad. And notice all the stuff I've got here. I've got my lanterns here. I've got all kinds of other gear behind me, my backpack. I'm pulling stuff up. Here you go. This. Now, did it take me a while to pack up my car and bring it all into my packing? Yes. That's the price you pay for Pizzazz. But the dividends are huge. And this works for everything. Popcorn sales. Okay, you guys have sold popcorn, right? How do you tell your pack how much popcorn you sold? Just stand up there and say, oh, we sold X amount of dollars, right? Ours comes in the super top secret, eyes only. And it's brought in by another leader, like just in. Now, meanwhile, inside here are all kinds of numbers that I know or what order they should be, and I bring out adults, and each one of them is holding a certain number. Well, not all of them are numbers. Some of them are symbols. Some of them are. There's one in here that's my boy's favorite. Is a dog with growling teeth, and the boys absolutely think that's the best one ever. But see, I'm going out. One's a Cub Scout item, one's an apple. I'm like, okay, it's 3,400 and apple 2. no, no, and then I'll pull another one, no, and I'll make it into a little skit. And of course, when the dog with bare teeth comes up, it scares me, and I have to, stumble backward. The voice thinks that's great. And eventually, at the very end, we've got the adults standing up there holding all the numbers. And yes, it took about 5 minutes to get there, but the boys are really involved. Like, oh yeah, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? It's not just somebody walking up and giving a big number. And then the boys are looking at it like, I don't really care. It's just money, and I don't, what does that mean? It's about taking that extra time. Awards, fire safety. Fire safety wise, the oh no fire safety skit. Okay? We're going camping. Scripts on the back. We should put a candle in our tent. And then another person with a big sign going, oh no, not that. And then go, I shouldn't do that? No. Well, maybe I should stack the wood in the tent. Another guy, oh no, not that. And by doing these kind of things, the boys are learning fire safety, but they're also having fun, and they're getting right there. They're looking for a reason to yell. And so they're listening really intently to everything that's being said. How about ceremonies? You do ceremonies often, right? More than just blue and gold, I hope. More than just the rafter joint scouting out when you bring in some new boys, I hope. You can make a lot of things different ceremonies. Ceremonies are a moment for a pause that the boys realize this is something different, something I really should pay attention to. We do flag retirement ceremonies. We do, even in our dens, we'll do ceremonies that are more than just posting of the flag and have the boys involved with the planning of it. It's a change from the regular. Okay, and let the boys be the heavy lifters there. That's important. Part of your ceremonies. Do you guys give out an arrow for your arrow of light? Boys love that. The parents are afraid when they look at it and going, you just gave an arrow.
Yes, I know.
But they're almost 11. They should know what to do with that, right? Yeah, I'm not giving them a bow. We're good. And I'm giving them this. And we also have what's called the Heavy Shoulder Award. This right here is a trophy that is 8 inches tall from Crown Awards. And it's for if you make all 20 of the wood badge, the Webelos badges. It's a heavy shoulder. You've done them all. And so we award this, and the number of heavy shoulders in our pack has gone up 6-fold since we incorporated this. Because the first time one goes out, the boys go, ooh, because it's different than all the different little things that they get for baseball and basketball. They're the little column ones. That's a guy. It's a statue guy. It's awesome. And it's very, very inexpensive. We give these out, and I tell you what, I am proud to give them out because the boys walk up who have really accomplished something. It's like, this is something that's going to be different. And you're going to actually have it at home, and this is going to be something that you're going to take care of and really cherish. These are great pizzazz items.
What do you get those for?
Heavy shoulder. We work on badges. You only have to have 12 to get your arrow of light.
Right.
Well, there are 20 possible, and most kids don't earn all 20. But if you earn all 20, it's called a heavy shoulder.
Is the badges different than the pins?
It's the pins,
Okay.
but they're called badges.
Okay, sorry.
They're not called badges. So, but that's about the pizzazz factor. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's all about just taking it just a little bit further, with a little bit of planning. Not everything has to be expensive. I could have made something just as much. But in reality, this is one of those that's a small cost. If this was a $50 statue, okay, we're gonna find something else. Yes.
We just did our first pack meeting of the year. It's my first year as a cut master, and so I was at the scout shop and I noticed the recruiter badge.
Yep.
And so for the first time, I thought, let's recognize the boys that
Absolutely.
brought other boys into the pack. And so I had 4 that, as I sent out the email, I was amazed. Like 3 parents immediately wrote me back. Like, Ian did this. And,
It is amazing.
And then I gave them out at the pack meeting, and then I had boys come up to me and say, why did he get this one, not this one? My son's upset with me because he's like, well, if it wasn't for me, 20% of the pack would
The
have
recruiter one is a great one because it actually has no official requirements. You can set anything you want, just be consistent. Your pack can say any boy who brings a friend to a pack meeting, patch. Or they have to sign up, patch. Whatever, just be consistent. But these are great opportunities. There are lots of little things, knickknacks.
$1.49.
Yeah, $1.49. It's like the best $1.49 you ever spent in it. But there are all kinds of little things like this. The boys, they see it and they understand, like, hey, there's value to that. That's something I want to do, and it really motivates. Cub Scout, we say, there are a lot of people joke about, hey, tigers, if they take a breath, we give them a bead. Okay, okay, there's a little bit of truth to that. But part of it is we're actually creating a sense of them wanting to achieve things. And so success begets success. And it's almost like the crumbs in the forest. Here you go, come over here. Character, that's how we're getting them there. Face painting. We do face painting for our balloon goals, but I don't do it every year because then it becomes old hat. I just throw it in. What are we going to do face paint this year? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. And then I just made up different type of ways that, for Webelos, there's different stripes on their face, for wolf, bear. Each one has a different stripe, and I've created a little script about what they mean. Okay, are there real meanings behind it? No! But they all love doing it. And and afterwards we pose in our meanest looking battle grimace. They have a great time. And you know how much those little grease pencils are? Less than $1. I think it's like $3 for 6 of them. And they're non-allergenic. There's no allergy stuff in them too. It's great. There's all kinds of possibilities. Giving out awards. Now, I have to admit, my pack falls in this too. A lot of times we'll get into the sandwich bag award giving. There you go, here you go, here you go. And we've got 1 million Ziploc bags. Okay, it's easy to fall in that. It's okay. Don't make it your habit. Now, I've tried some crazy stuff. I put awards inside balloons, and the boys had to pop the balloons to get their awards. They loved it, so the balloons went everywhere. I've created dinosaur bones using paper mache. Word to the wise? Nah, don't ever do it. Horrible idea. First of all, it took forever. And second of all, the boys just want to hit each other with bones. So, bad idea. But find other ways. Try something different. I read once about this one, the guy came in and he had a parachute hanging behind him. He came in like he had just parachuted in with all the awards in a satchel. And he was like, and the parachute's dragging behind him. I've got to find something like it because I think that's one of the best ideas I've ever heard. Our previous Cub Master, this gentleman here, Mr. Barrett, he always would come up with the craziest stuff. Everything was an invention that went horribly wrong. And that's the way the awards would be. Find your stick. Find any way you want to do it. But don't just be that Ziploc family. Because they work hard, but it should be fun, really memorable. Now, here's your awards. Shake your hand, salute. Okay, next. It should be more. Okay? But here, Pony Express arriving in a funny machine. We had a machine that the boy would put on this helmet here and think about what he wants the most. And it was always a Cub Scout award. It was great. The boy's like, I want a bike. It's a Cub Scout award. It's what you really wanted. No, it's not. It was a lot of fun. How about flags? All your dens have flags? Some do, some don't. It is very easy to go to the Cub Scout shop, the Scout shop, and buy the little den flags. Yep, there it is. Pink. And then you go buy a broom handle, and there you go. Have the boys create something. Something that's going to last throughout their ranks. Okay? Parents are going to be very involved, you bet, because tigers cannot sew. If they can, wow, that's an impressive tiger. But something that they grow with. And then what I used to do too is I actually had these little knickknacks that would give them that they hung on their flag when they did special things. If they led the flag, I had a small little flag that pinned on. If, for Pirate Day, if they came up to me and gave me a little pirate ditty, they made a little song about it, here's your pirate flag, and little bells, things that made lots of noise, they loved. Little jingle bells, little simple stuff. You go to Michael's, you go to Joann's, wherever it is, and you pay a couple dollars, and you get like a handful of stuff, and you can make a million things out of it. Little beads, little streamers. I mean, this I thought was one of the neatest flags I'd ever seen. Obviously, a dad with a router did that one. Either that or that, and Webelow was awesome. But, I mean, look at that. Lightning bolt, the way it stood up there, I thought that was a pretty neat flag. But it should be something that they can carry different places. They go camping, they take it with them. They go for a go see it, or they go out for a field trip, you take it with them. It's for their history.
How do you deploy that in a pack? Like I'll use ours as an example. Our den made our own flag. None of the other dens have it. We bring it wherever we go.
Yep.
So we're sort of the oddball. Now some of the other den leaders are like, well, hey, how'd you do that? I'm thinking about doing that. So it was sort of this, we did it on our own. It was part of one of the requirements. They had to use tools and make something useful, right? So we said, let's make a den flag.
Have your Cub Masters start giving out, taking an attendance award or something during the pack meeting and giving out something to put on the flag.
Okay.
When all of a sudden they've got 2 or 3 things to put on a flag and they don't have a flag, and you guys are got saying hanging on your flag, all of a sudden, it's like, well, what are we supposed to do with these? Put it on your flag, well, we don't have a flag.
Don't make one quick.
You think you can fix
You
it?
buy one, you don't have to make one.
You don't, yeah, you don't. And if you buy one, obviously, you can jazz it up by just putting little ribbons with each of the boys' names on the end. You know, it doesn't have to be something incredibly, hard or credible. I mean, this one right here is pretty cool in the fact that each of the boys stood and the parents cut out the size of the feet when they were small. And then obviously when they get bigger, it's like, look how small your feet were. And the boys are like, oh, Mom, stop it. But it's really cool.
What we did is we took our, one of the flags, put it on our den number, and then had the kids put their hand in paint.
Yeah, I've
Put
seen
their
those too.
hands on
And
each
I
one.
love those. And when we first started with Mike, the first time I went through, I had my Tigers sign it as Tigers. And then their signatures were just so blocky, and then later on, they look at me, I can't believe that's the way I used to write. I'm like, yeah, I used to be this tall too. And now they're Boy Scouts, and they're bigger than I am, and it's really cool. Take it everywhere. Service projects. Absolutely, every single service project, everywhere my pack goes, I have 2 yardsticks. You know what yardsticks are, right? There's a metal thing that you actually hammer in the ground and the flag will sit on it. It looks like a little bullet, about that big. I have a mallet always carry with me and my 2 yardsticks. And we take our pack flag and our US flag everywhere we go. Absolutely, every event we're doing, I'm posting the colors. Because I want the boys to know we're a Cub Scout pack. And we are going to take care of ourselves in a scouting manner. Plus people went around like, who's that? Oh, and as our flag is flittering in the breeze, it's like, oh, they're a Cub Scout pack. That goes along with your den bringing it along as well. Them having the ability to post it and have it with your pack flag creates a culture of that as well. Definitely campfires and such. We always take them camping in summer camps. Yeah, notice that? The noisier the better? Yes. Boys love noisy stuff. Parents hate it. Boys love it. All right, how about takeaways? You already have any takeaways? Things like, we're going to learn International Morse Code. I give a card to everybody with a little Morse code on it. It's a takeaway. And it's a fair piece of cardstock you printed out. Yes, it is. I could have made it smaller and used packing tape, the clear packing tape, to laminate it, poor man's lamination, and all of a sudden, and then put a hole in it and put it on a lanyard. I could have done that, right? I could have done all kinds of other takeaways. Where's my other takeaway here? I've got a really, there we go. We're learning a new knot. Here's how to tie the knot. And then I've got it where they can go, okay. And they're learning their knot. This is a simple little takeaway. And truthfully, it took me no time whatsoever to create it. But it's something the boys could use and they can reference later. That's a good thing. We made these hats, and everybody took home a hat with little jingle bells on it. Once again, noisier the better. Remember that? You guys do ashes from campfires? You know what I'm talking about when I say ashes from campfires? That you take the ashes from the campfire you just had and you take it to the next campfire and put it in and creates a legacy of the history. If you go to almost any council or district event, they will be using ashes that have histories that go back 100+ years. My pack uses a set of ashes that can trace its history to 50,000 campfires. Yes, every single jamboree, every single OA conclave, dust from the moon, ashes from ground zero, all these things are together, and it's the history that binds us together. Of course, when I pour the ashes in, I've also added things to it, like magnesium, or sugar, or something else to create more of the spirit of the fire. Pizzazz. Boys, the boys know, he's going to pour it in there, what's going to happen this time? If neat little sparks show up, those are all awesome things to do. These kind of things allow you to create a little more mystery. Fun. Now, the danger of this is if sometimes these takeaways, if they take assembly, you got to remember that if it took you 20 minutes to build it, it's going to take them 2.5 hours. Yep. Kale, I can't figure out this, I can't use the scissors. Mr. Kale, I'm missing a piece. And they're all doing this. That's good. It's like, And you want your parents to help, and the parents looking like, hey, you decide this one, this is all you. So make sure they're simple things. A lot of times, most of mine have a 2-step process for the assembly. And it's usually, really very gross assembly. Because in reality, I know building certain things will take a whole hour. And there will always be some kids who just can't build it. And they're frustrated, and then you're building it for them, and did that really help or not? So pay attention to the intricacies of that. Obviously, a Weeblo can put together something a lot different than a Tiger can. So if it's a pack meeting, it's one thing. If it's a DIN meeting, it's another. Okay, what else do you do? Do you guys have pack t-shirts? Absolutely. My pack just recently, last year, moved to a pack t-shirt is included with our dues. We upped our dues, we told everybody, you're getting a t-shirt. They said, sure! Because I want all my boys, when we are not wearing our uniforms, to be wearing a t-shirt. You want the really cool thing about this though? On the back of mine is a big number 71. So, because everybody has a blue or a yellow shirt, and we're at camp going, is that my boy? But when they turn around for me, oh, there's a big 71, that's mine. Hey, come back over here. So that's really neat, having the ability, some type of symbol or something like that that's really identifiable for your pack. Yeah, there's my guy right there. That's really good. Special cheers, the special cheer for my pack, and they always know it's coming, is we'll all get together and I'll go, okay, and I'll just say what pack, and whatever tone I put it in, they're gonna answer back 71. If I come up, what pack? They're gonna whisper back, 71. And eventually they know I'm gonna go as loud as I possibly can, which is really loud. And they can yell as loud as they want. They know that's our special cheer for our pack. And every time we finish something, I'm like, bring it in. What pack? 71. And 4 or 5 times until it's like, everyone, and now have a great time and be safe, and they go. We have done video commercials. I had all my boys sing the 12 Days of Scoutmas, and we created a special scouting song, and filmed it, and then we showed it at the pack meeting. Fun stuff. Contests. Anything you can think of. Creative. Each group creating centerpieces. Sure is better than an adult creating about 50 centerpieces and putting them out there, isn't it? Funny hat meeting, everyone's wearing a funny hat. Here's my guy's second favorite. Remember, the take out the trash is their first favorite. Here's their second favorite. I actually use that campfire out there, and we go and set it out in our meeting place. All the lights are off, and no chairs, and we're all sitting around, and we run the pack meeting exactly like a campfire, with skits and songs and cheers and awards, and that is their second favorite. It is a ton of fun. We're inside. I don't have to worry about it's going to rain or not, and I don't have to worry about the fire getting out of control because it's a nice little electric fire that I plug and unplug. And you can create those as simple as a flashlight and a crumpled up tinfoil. Seriously, that's what our pack had for the first few years, is a series of flashlights with tinfoil. And the boys, that's not a real fire, and then eventually they don't care anymore. Within about 5 minutes, they've ignored that, and they're loving the skits and what's going on. That's pizzazz.
I just bought one of those at the Halloween store.
Yep.
And we used it in our Bobcat ceremony.
That one right there is from fakefire.com. I tried to build one myself. That one is $100. That's it. And I'm like, I can't build anything close to that for $100 because I was trying. But, I mean, it's got little LEDs, and it's got a series of fans, and it works beautiful. And it really looks cool. I mean, my kids' schools use it for events too, and they put it on the stage, and to the point like, is that fire? Yeah, it's fire. No, it's not fire. Seriously. But these are fun things to have a little bit of pizzazz. But here's the key. What do your boys want to do? What's going to be fun for them? What's going to make them laugh and have a great time and talk about it tomorrow with their friends? Man, you know what we did at school? Yeah, we were out here at school, but we had a fire in there. You had a what? We had a fire. No way. Yeah, it was a fire. We told stories. Really? That is the key to a great pizzazz, because the boys are just like captivated. All right, how about service projects? You guys do service projects, all right? Remember, Journey to Excellence, they want you to do at least 3. Every single one of your service projects are very pizzazz-like. It's not what you do. About taking the time to talk to them a little bit about what the meaning of it was. Scouting for food. You can make it fun, as fun as after scouting for food, I get all my boys together, and I know how many pounds, and I'll start bringing them up. I'm like, you're about 35 pounds, you're about 50 pounds. And I'm adding them up like, no, that's not enough. And get some parents, oh, Mrs. Smith, you're about 85 pounds. And, I'm bringing everybody up, and I'm adding up like, I think this is about how much food we collected. And, all of a sudden, they've got a visual representation instead of just calling out a number. Once again, kids have no clue what 2,500 pounds looks like. But if they're up there, and I'm like, and this is what it is. Your guys' weight is what we collected. That's amazing to them. Christmas. Coming up, our next pack meeting, we bring in and we go to Holiday Coalition and we get those stockings and we fill those up for kids that are just not getting enough for Christmas. And our boys feel awesome about it. And it's all stuff from dollar store and Five Below and whatever. And they build these stockings. And they're wearing, sometimes wearing Christmas hats, whatever, and we're building these things, and it's just an amazing event. Coat drives. One of our boys ran a coat drive, and he ended up collecting, I think, between the school and our Cub Scout pack, over 300 coats. Amazing. These these are the kind of pizzazz things, they're adding a little bit more to it. Just not we're just gonna go dig some flowers, or we're gonna go clean and pick up trash. Those are great service products, don't get me wrong, do those too, but add a little bit more to it. And make sure you're checking with your charter organization and the local churches, and specifically your local schools. You want to be very welcome in your school, you talk to the principal about how can we help you. Oh, you know what, we really could use that sidewalk cleaned up a little bit, we like to put a path there. No problem. We got dads, moms, and boys gonna get dirty, let's go. And you go out there and you do it, and the boys have fun, and then later on at school, we did that. That's what we did. That's the amazing thing. And that's pizzazz too. So it's the most important act of being Cub Scout because we're teaching them to help other people at all times. That's what we want them to learn. Be respectful, good leaders, help other people at all times. Those are the keys. Extracurricular awards, of course. Because, you don't have enough other things going on. They are also great pizzazz items. You're earning your basic badges, okay, great, but there are also so many fun things out there. Historic trails. There are, in the Washington metro area, at least 65 historic trails that all have either a patch or a medal. You cannot throw a rock without hitting 3 of them. There's one in Leesburg. I didn't even know there was one in my own hometown. The one I live in, that it shows me where the Constitution was hidden during the War of 1812 when Washington was burned. Who knew? And I'm walking like, there it is. No way. And the boys probably didn't understand why I was so astounded by it. I was like, no way. But it was a great opportunity, and then they earned a nice little medal. Life's good. This program here is Youth Patriotism Awards. I created that 5 years ago. It's a nationwide program that actually is teaching a greater sense of patriotism. That's why you see all the United States flags through here. I love those. But it's heritage, freedom, citizenship, and service. Extra things to work along. The boys love doing it. The families enjoy doing it. These kind of extra activities are fun little added extras. They're part of your pizzazz. You're teaching them without them knowing it. They game with a purpose, teaching them when they're not looking. It's part of that. All right, so anyway, timing's not bad. Here's your conclusion. Number one, don't be afraid. Try something. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. If it works, put it in your back pocket and use it again another time. Whatever you're thinking, the boys would like that, try it. It doesn't take you creating some elaborate 100 hours of planning and lots of money to make it a pizzazz. Pizzazz can be just as simple as having colored paper. Sometimes that's as simple as it is. And that's not a bad thing. Leave your adult self at the door. You're still responsible for safety, yes. But you know what? You're also responsible for you having fun too. If you're not having fun, the boys see it, and truthfully you won't last long as a leader anyway. Because, just one more job I gotta go do. Really? If that's the way Cub Scouting is for you, you need to be a parent and let someone else be the leader and support your kids and have fun. Because it should be fun for you too. Now, that doesn't mean that every once in a while there's a little stress involved, because there's stress in everything. But you still should be having fun. Come up with activities that you like to do too. Okay? Look to multiple senses. Often I will put an American flag and I will take a halogen spotlight, one of those you get at Home Depot, and I will put it underneath it to highlight that, and that as part of my event. And the boys, their eyes, it's like I can almost hear their head. Because they're looking like, hey, something's different. Because the flag is glowing. How simple is that? Just don't burn your flag. Because it really does get hot. But something as simple as that. Have a meeting where you got the lights off. Every once in a while, I also found at a thrift store a flashing red light, the kind that sort of like police squad. And every once in a while, when it's something special going on, I have an adult turn. Whoop, hey, we got something special going on. Boom. Also, like, sounds, all kinds of opportunities here. Have fun. Don't stress. It's Cub Scouts. It's fun. I've used up all my time. If you did not get a chance to sign, well, the sign-in sheets, please do. I'll send out these slides. And also, I videotaped the whole class. I post that as well, a link to that so you can see it. Because I know I go fast and people are like, right. That's the best way to learn. And share it with everyone you know, because the best thing about scouting is plagiarism is encouraged. Take and share. Thank you all so much and have a great week.
Thank you.